Vice President of Industry Relations for one more semester here. So today we have MAIA. First of all, I see some people slouching a little bit, so sit up. Stay off your phones. I see a few of those. Stay off your phones. So today we have our guest speakers from MAIA. We have Lisa, and she's with MLNL. We have Ben Rathburn, he's with Rathburn Agency. We have Caitlin, and she's with Atkin Orman. And we have Shelly from Baycom Insurance Mart, Courtney from Ron Jackson Insurance Agency, and Leah Robinson from My Member Insurance Agency. And then we have Rita and Mary, both from MAIA. Can we give them a warm welcome?
Thank you. Good morning, everyone. My name is Ben Rathburn, work at Rathburn Agency in Lansing. I am a super senior here at Olivet. Getting my MBA, I have one class left, so I will be done in May. So I have been an agent at my family's agency for going on 5 years now. It'll be 5 years in May. So we are an independent agency in Lansing. We have 15 employees, been around for 62 years. So we do personal lines, commercial lines, and then employee benefits and financial services as well. So I've been in the agency for, I guess, since I was 7, but officially for about 5 years now. So I'm a producer, so I do personal and commercial lines, and then kind of, as we'll go through being in an agency, you kind of wear a lot of different hats as well. So I do do a little operations, do all of our advertising, all of our marketing, and manage our website, things like that. And so I'll pass it around, and then we'll get back to kind of talking more about the dynamics of each of our agencies.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Courtney. I am from Ron Jackson Insurance in Kalamazoo, Michigan. I am a personal lines producer for them. I have been for the last 4 years now. I started as reception when I was in high school. Went through college, graduated in 2012, and was hired back in as an account manager, I guess. So just somebody who serviced in the policies, made changes and stuff. And then I was changed to sales, and I've been there ever since. It's great.
Hi, I'm Leah Robinson. I graduated from here in 2016. I work at the My Member Insurance Agency in Saginaw, Michigan. My agency is a little unique. We were purchased by a credit union, so we have a parent organization, and it's helpful for us because with all of the members of the credit union, we do get some referrals, so that helps with the less cold calling that I'm sure you've all heard about. I've been there almost a year now, and before that I was at a large agency in Indiana. Wasn't a great fit for me, so I moved back home to Michigan.
I'm Shelly Bernacki. I'm from Macomb Insurance Mart. It's in Clinton Township. I wear a lot of hats at the agency. I am going to be a future owner within the next 5 years. Right now I'm producer, receptionist. I do a lot of operations, marketing, management, kind of all over the place. It's a really small office. We only got about 6 people. I actually changed to insurance after almost getting my degree in accounting, but I had already been in this agency for 14 years, and at that point I knew everything, I had the knowledge, and so I just decided to stick with it.
I'm Lisa Lemansky. I work at Myers Lamborghini Lemansky Insurance, or MLNL for short, since it's so long. I have been there for 7 years. I started working for auto owners a few years ago, a long time ago actually, and I was there for 8 years. It wasn't a really good fit for me, so my husband and I bought MLNL from his uncle, who is the Myers of MLNL, about 6 years ago. And so we run the agency together, and we have about 7 employees now.
All right, so I guess we'll just kind of talk on all of our agencies kind of have different agency dynamics, and I know as you guys are looking for jobs and looking for, a lot of you will incorrectly go on the company side. But being on the agency side, I guess it really depends on what fits you. And so agencies, just like companies, are all shapes and sizes. So whereas we have 15 people, there's agencies with 6 people, there's agencies that have 250 people. So we're in a family agency, so my grandpa started the agency. My dad's been there for 37 years now. and then I've been there for about 5 years. And so there's just different dynamics when you work with a family agency versus working with a different agency. So I guess a recommendation I have for you is if any of you are going on the agency side, don't just accept a job offer at the first agency you get. Just like the company side, you have to make sure it's a good fit with what your personal needs are. So really matching up with not only your personal values, but the company's values. Because we've seen people who, like Leah, for example, went to an agency. She knew she wanted to be in an agency. It just wasn't the right fit to be in that agency. What else am I supposed to talk about? Take it away.
So I would agree with Ben. Our agency, when we bring on new hires, we really make sure it's a good fit for both people. It's also a family agency. We're now almost to 3rd generation, just about. So yes, I would agree. Family agency is good. Make sure it's a good fit.
Adding a little back history to my previous agency, when I first started there, I felt like it was a very good fit for me, and then there was some changes in the leadership. So it's okay if you go into your first job and it's great for a while, and then if there's a change within the company or the agency that you don't agree with, you don't owe them anything, and if you're not feeling comfortable, make the switch. I'm glad I did, and I think my new agency is glad that I did as well.
I think they're all right with finding something that fits you. What you learn in school and what you're doing on the job are similar, but what you have to do is you kind of have to make it your own. So everything that you're learning, you want to apply it in your everyday life, but you also want to be you in the process, especially when you're going to go find that job and you're going to go talk to employers. Me personally, we've got that 6-person agency. It's kind of like a family agency. It hasn't been passed down to family, but it's all open. We don't have cubicles. We're all really close people. And really, that was a good fit for me. I felt that I would be more personal with the people I work with, but also with customers. And that was one of the reasons that I chose the place that I did. I was actually in college when I had gotten this job, and I was on my way to get my accounting degree. But the listing was right at the college too. And so it's always good to look at different colleges, whether it's community colleges, this colleges, see what's available, see if there's any internships that maybe you can do. Those are always good too, because then at least you get the experience.
So I worked for the company side. I was a commercial lines underwriter for the Eastern Michigan territory with auto owners, which is basically like the south of Lansing and then up to about the Midland area. I specialized in trucking accounts, but I wrote pretty much anything. I wrote Main Street businesses, I wrote big manufacturing businesses, down to small little Hallmark stores in a small town in the middle of nowhere. I loved it. I had a great time. I learned a lot about insurance there. I never thought I would do insurance. I actually have a degree from Aquinas College in comparative politics. And I really just wanted to be a teacher. So the economy was really bad, and my husband, who I work with, is like in the insurance dynasty of a family. He's a 4th generation insurance agent. He's the guy with the red, white, and blue jacket when you see it scroll through. He knew he wanted to go into insurance at some point in his life, but I never did. And then once I got into it, I really liked it. I liked learning about different businesses and learning about different business owners and things like that. But things kind of started to get old at the company side. I like change, and I'm very like, if I want something, I'm going for it. And I just didn't feel like there was a lot of movement quickly enough for me on the company side to be able to go and do different things. I wanted to do marketing. I wanted to go out and meet with underwriting or with agents. And that just wasn't happening. So we had an opportunity to buy the agency 6 years ago, and so my husband and I jumped on it and we bought the agency, and we've been slowly transforming it into what it is today. And it's taken a lot of hard work and a lot of time and a lot of energy, but it's been worth it for me for everything, because now I have so much more freedom. If I need to meet with clients, I go and meet with clients. We have a marketing platform that we never had before. We have an up-to-date website that before was literally a Word document with an M and an L in it. It was really embarrassing. I wish I had a picture of it. It was really bad. And now we have like a really fresh website that has a picture of our entire team on it. And we do social media, so all of our agents are able to get in front of their clients and talk about different insurance things. We have an updated logo, so just taking the creativity and using that in the agency side has been a lot of fun for me. I do accounting within the agency, I do operations, so HR, working with people on time out or things like that, or setting goals for the people in our office, whether it's a sales goal or it's a service team goal, making sure the agency is running efficiently. There's a lot of different opportunities within the agency, and each of us does something different. I don't do as much sales, but I still get out and get to see a lot of our clients. So when really bad things happen, like their businesses burn to the ground, we go out there and we're with them when this happens, because it's probably the worst moment of their life. And I will tell you, because this just happened to us, watching your client cry as they watch their business burn to the ground is terrible. But knowing that I have their back and that they have the proper coverages is something that you can never replace. And telling them they have coverages like 12 months actual loss sustained, so that they can keep their business going, and that there's these other coverages available so that they can rebuild and keep moving on. It's huge, and you do make a difference in someone's life by being an independent agent. So,
Actually, I got one more thing. Okay. So another thing I want to talk about is the opportunities that are out there within the agencies. A lot of agencies right now are transitioning. A lot of them are starting websites. They are starting to remarket in a new way. The owner at my company right now, he's been in it for 40 years. So when he started, he had to go door to door. He had to find these people in person. Well, nowadays, a lot of this stuff is online. You got social media, you've got the websites, you've got everything within the companies that it's an opportunity for all of you to jump into an agency if that's something that you want to do, and help these agencies grow and keep continuing, because I think having an independent agency is very important. I think it's very personal for customers. You're not necessarily stuck in a corporate world, and you can kind of make your own hours. It's all flexible. Some places offer benefits, some have smaller benefits that maybe won't fit your needs, but I do think there's a lot of opportunity for everyone to grow with this industry right now.
I'll take it back. Kind of just reiterating that, I think it's really important to know in the agency that, like we've all said, there's a lot of different roles, just like there is on the company side. So there's some people who they don't like being salespeople, and you could be a really good account manager and not like doing sales at all. You could have more of a marketing role where you're going out and trying to bring new business in and then pass it off to agents who are actually going to write the coverage. And then once you get in more of a management or ownership role, I wish I could say that I sold 100% of the time. Life was way easier, I think we could all say, when all we had to do was sell insurance. But when you're deciding what carriers to work with, what your target market is, and what niches you want to attack, how you want to present yourself in the community and go out and network, there's a lot of different opportunities in the agency world, and it takes a different person, I would say a more entrepreneurial person than works on the company side, that we have the ability to set our own hours. And let's say this week, we were just kind of joking that our staff says, I'm literally never in the office. And yesterday, my dad and I were out at a continuing ed class. Today, I'm here with the young agents. And it's not that I'm not working, but I sit at home and work from 7 to 11 at night and log in and quote policies. So I think it just gives you more of a freedom than on the carrier side, and really gives you the unlimited earning potential. So when you're on the company side, they're going to start you out with probably a higher salary than you would make on the agency side. But I really have the ability to make whatever I want. If I want to sell more and earn more, I go out and do that. If I'm content with how much I'm making and I don't feel like I want to go out and write new business, I don't have to do that either. So it really gives you more freedom to kind of do what you want on the agency side.
do you guys have questions for us?
With that, yeah, I guess I'll open it up to questions.
Remind them there's gas cards.
And there's Speedway gas cards for people who ask questions. Yep.
So you said you have like unlimited earning potential. Do you ever find it like a struggle to write new business?
So I think when you start out as an agent, you really want to write as much business as you can. And I think we're all kind of have been in the business long enough that you get to the point where you're really honing in on what is your target client, what are you trying to write. And so we're kind of going through a transition phase where we were trying to be all things to all people. And we've now identified exactly what is our target personal lines client, what's our target commercial lines client. Let's look at the clients we have and go out and find more that are exactly like those ideal people. And so I think that's really rewarding, knowing that you can find people who you really like to work with and then find other people like that. Because you have to be a really bad insurance agent to not sell insurance. There's a lot of bad insurance agents, but there's a lot of really good insurance agents. And the thing that's exciting about going out and finding new clients and finding new target clients is that you have the ability to write whatever you want. And so, like for our agency, for example, I started a program called Quotes for a Cause that we actually stole from Courtney's boss. But it's a really cool program where we go out and we partner with a different nonprofit organization every month. And so we tally up how many quotes we do, and then we donate $5 per quote to that organization at the end of the month. So we then have the ability to highlight some community organization, and then we have one of those big oversized checks and go and do a check presentation. But that's kind of made a niche for me that I realized I really like working with nonprofits. So now I actively go out and try and write nonprofits. So we all kind of have different niches that we found, we really enjoy working with that kind of people. And I think in the agency world 50 years ago, everyone was all things to all people. Whereas in this day and age, I don't have to sell to just people who live in Ingham County. I can sell to people all over the state of Michigan, or agencies that are licensed in multiple states. You can sell all over the country. And so if I wanted to write only nonprofits, I could go and write only nonprofits. And so I think it gives you the flexibility to kind of decide what niche you like, and then you can attack that.
And if you're interested in the agency side of things, there's paid internships available through MAIA, where you can go and intern in an office, in an agency over the summer just to see if it's something that you'd be interested in, if it's a good fit for you. We've had interns before, and we've learned that both of us have learned that it wasn't a good fit for either one of us, but at the same time we have had friends who've had great experiences with interns. So I think it's a great opportunity for you to at least get your foot in the door, and you never know what will come of that internship opportunity, because a lot of those agencies are really well connected with carriers and other agencies in the area, and so you never want to burn any bridges, because the insurance community is pretty small within the state of Michigan. So everybody gets to know everybody else, and it's a great way for you to get to know other people and other opportunities.
This is kind of a question for all of you, but what's your favorite thing about being an agent?
I love people. I just love people, and I love all of our clients. All of our clients are different. I have bridal stores, I have contractors, I have manufacturers. So getting to know more about their businesses and getting to know them as a person is really cool, and being able to celebrate them when they go out and they open a second location, or they get featured on diners, drive-ins, and dives, or something like that. Like that's really fun, because then you form this great relationship with them where they're just as excited for you when you achieve things as you are for them when they achieve things.
I think for me it's the change. Within insurance, there's always change. It never stays the same. I was a job gypsy before I started in insurance, I swear. I went from one job to the next, and I did anything under the sun. I mean, I was working at Dairy Queen all the way to valeting cars. So I think the change within the industry has always kept me up to date, but also interested. I mean, I think that was the biggest thing. I always thought it was gonna be boring, and there wasn't gonna be much I'm gonna be able to do. But yeah, I think that's probably my biggest thing.
I started my insurance journey through the high school class, and through that I was able to do a ton of different internships within the company, and I realized being stuck at one place all day long every day was not a good fit for me. It burnt me out very quickly. So I did an internship at an agency, really liked it. So that's why I chose the agency side, because I could get out and I could go meet different people, learn their story. You can have two of the same types of accounts, like two people that manufacture this water bottle, but each of them is going to do it in a completely different way. So it just keeps things interesting and new.
I would just echo what all they said, just the ability to write such a vast spectrum of accounts, I would say. So no 2 days are the same, whether mean, I've had days where I'm trying to write a trucking risk, and then the next day I had a call about writing a diaper bank last week. But it's just interesting that there's so many different risks out there, and when you find ones that you like, and kind of just to echo what Lisa said to people, if you don't like talking to people, don't be an agent. But I guess it takes a person who likes to be out and talking and meeting to people, and I'm always out in the community going to different networking events and trying to meet different people, and so you're kind of always selling. And so being on the agency side really gives you the flexibility to never really have the same day. Yep.
So you're talking about a lot of positives. Is there something negative that you can find within your work that you would like to change, or?
How long do you have? So I guess, as Lisa said, the company side can kind of be slow to change sometimes, and the agency is, I'm in a family agency, so we've been around for 62 years, and we have, like our owner retired about 3 months ago. He's been with us for 58 years. And so a lot of agencies can, I mean, the insurance agency world is very pale, male, and stale, and you have to break through kind of the fact that people have been doing things the same way for a long time. However, I do think that is always an opportunity as well to kind of bring new young blood into agencies, because there's a lot of agencies that are very, very old school. And so when you're looking at agencies, really make sure that it is that right fit.
Like Ben mentioned earlier, being an agent, you do get to partially set your own hours, but also when you do have a lot of business to write, you're not just there 8 to 5 with an hour lunch break. You might come into the office at 7, work right through lunch, not eat all day, or have a few peanuts from the break room, and then leave at 7 or 8 at night. And you know, especially when you're starting out and you're trying to build your base book of business, you're gonna have to put in the long hours. So whereas on the company side, it's okay if you have something left on your desk at 5 o'clock, they want you out, they want you to go home and be there again promptly at 8 a.m. Whereas it just might not work for some of your schedules to be an agent and work 12, 13-hour days.
I can actually attest to that because my last 2 vacations, the first one was a 5-day vacation. I was in the office 3 of those days. And then my last vacation was 3 days and I was in 2 of those days. So, I mean, it happens, but then I can take a different day off that I don't have anything going on. So again, it's that flexibility, which is good. I think negative for me, we work mainly personal lines. When you have personal lines, a customer doesn't call because they're happy. No one calls insurance companies because they're happy. Usually it's for something negative. So it is a challenge to try and talk to these people, but a lot of times it's just letting them talk to you and just letting them get it out. And then I think after that, they calm down, and then you can work through whatever you have to work through. But that part is negative on my end.
I would say working with underwriters can be a challenge, and I was an underwriter, so like I get it. But like, if I'm telling you this is what they do and you trust me, like trust me and let me roll with it. So like that slowness sometimes with the company to like issue out my policy or issue out my change, they don't realize the impact that it has on the insured who's waiting for that billing or who's waiting to, you know, to make a change in their business because they're waiting for this refund check to come back. So I think sometimes the company people drive me crazy because they don't understand that there's a lot on us. Like they don't hear it from the insured, they just, you know, I need you to do this soon. So that would be my frustration.
Yeah.
I'm going to say the same thing Ben did. It's very pale, male, and stale in insurance. And so I was telling these guys before we started this that it's really awesome to see a room full of young people that want to be in insurance. We need people like you guys to spice it up. We want people to be excited about insurance again. It's exciting. Every day is different. People need us, and they don't know it. So it's exciting to have you here.
In the back.
So I would say, like, you talked about like there not being like a earning capacity on the sales side. Like, or do you find yourself having to like just work harder or put in like more time, like more hours, like than like say like a 40-hour week?
I guess I would echo kind of what they've said. It really depends. It also has to do with working smarter and not harder. I mean, I guess my dad has the biggest book in our agency, and we work the same amount of hours. But a lot of it is when you're building a book of business, you're then getting renewals in, and you're not that you're making money for doing nothing, but as you build your book of business, your income is going to, or on the company side, it might kind of go like this. I've only been at the agency 5 years, and it goes like this. And so I think it takes longer to get there, but once you're there, I mean, you're not then forced to write as much new business. Personally, I love writing new business, so I'm not gonna stop doing it anytime soon. I think it takes a different mentality, whereas I don't sit there and think, oh, I have to write new business. I get to go out and find a new risk and help someone protect their business.
Going along with that, the better job you do for your clients, they're gonna refer their friends, their business partners to you, and that makes it easier for you while also getting that higher earning for working basically less harder. A referral is the best compliment you can ever get on the agency side.
I think the 40-hour work week thing is kind of a myth in an agent's job. Sometimes you may work 40, sometimes you may work 20, sometimes you may work 70. It just depends on what you have going on. There are times of the seasons that may be busier. You know, car sales go up, so for us, personal lines, we're writing a lot of, you know, new vehicles on people and things like that. So it varies. You're not just stuck at a 40-hour work week job. You can go up, you can go down, and it's really what you put into it. So whether you want that 40-hour work week and you want to increase your pay, that's on you. So it's how driven you are and where you're going to go with it.
I would say from an owner perspective, we have a couple of newer agents in our office, and the first 2 years are probably the hardest, but we start them with a salary, and then they get a commission split on the two of those. Those first 2 years probably are the hardest. It's building up that pipeline, it's getting your name out there, it's hustling. I mean, they're out there hustling, they're hitting the streets, they're going to networking groups, they're meeting with different clients, but once that happens, their earning potential goes way over the people, their friends that started out maybe making like $75,000 or $50,000 a year, and they start getting capped. So maybe you work for a company and you just get like, you get a couple bonuses here and there. Maybe your annual raise is like almost kind of like a cost of living adjustment, maybe 2 to 3%. On the agency side, I mean, now you see people being able to, they're buying houses, our agents are buying houses, they're sending their kids to private school, they're able to buy a car that maybe they couldn't have afforded when they first started. It's all these small things. They're able to help out their families, they can give more into their communities, make donations and things like that. But the first 2 years, they are hard. I mean, I don't want to sugarcoat it, but it kind of sucks. I mean, I remember Will and I mean, it was tough. It was scary in the beginning, but once you hit your stride and once you build that pipeline and you start getting the referrals and people start seeing you as this insurance advisor, the sky is seriously the limit. Like their earning capacity now and where we set their goals for them and where they help us set their goals is much different than what it was when they first started.
So we just hired a new commercial producer, and we were just talking about this yesterday because he is expecting within a certain amount of time to be okay, and it's just one of those things where, just like these guys have said, it is what you make it, and you can work as hard or as little as you want. But I would say, to echo Lisa, it takes a couple of years to feel comfortable, really, in this position. You have to be an entrepreneur. You have to go out and get what you want, basically. So as much or as little time as you want to do that.
And that uncomfortableness will push you because you don't want to ever feel that again. So it just pushes you to keep writing more.
Well, I'm not sure how many of you are married or have kids. I know you work with your husband, but how is it balancing your family and work?
I kind of have a perfect situation because my girlfriend owns her own business, and so we both never turn our business off. So she's taking over for her father. It's actually a vintage music store. So she has 55 employees that she's just took over managing that whole business. And so I would say we have weekends where we're sitting on the couch both selling insurance and banjos all weekend. And then other times where we get home and we're like, all right, after 7 o'clock we are not talking about work. And And so I think it really, you have the flexibility, but then there is the potential that you can let that consume you and not have kind of a life away from work. So I think just like working on the company side or any job, just making sure that you kind of go out and make sure that you're active about having a work-life balance is really important.
I work with my husband and his parents, and then I have 2 brother-in-laws here. And you know, at our agency, it's important to spend time with your family. We take time off of work to go and watch Jake and Kyle play sports, and that's okay. If you have a doctor appointment for a child, we're completely okay with you taking off the few hours. We have one lady in our office who is an account manager. She has great potential to be a salesperson, but she doesn't want to be because she gets to do a flex day every other week, and that's when she plans her time with her family. So even if you aren't an agent, there are positions within agencies where you can still have flexibility with your schedule so that you can have the family and work balance.
So I've got a 7-year-old at home, and she's feisty like me. So it's actually very easy to keep my home life and my work life balanced. My husband, he works an opposite shift, so he's working midnights while I'm working days. It was a struggle at first, but I think once you kind of get into a groove, it's much easier, but you have to find that balance that works for you. And again, that's one of the reasons that I picked the agency that I did, is because they are big on family. They always have been. So if you have an emergency, go, leave, do what you have to do, come back when you can. Nowadays, everything's by email, telephone. I mean, a lot of this stuff is not even, okay, we need you to come in the door and sign this. You know, you can do e-sign now. So, yeah, I think it's a good balance, and I think it's a good job for it.
I don't know if I really have a really great balance, to be honest. When you work with your husband, like, we sit on opposite sides of the office, so not like because we hate each other, but because I do service type stuff and he does sales. But I think like we do have outside activities, so I do Irish and Highland dance in my spare time, and that helps release a lot of stress and tension for me, and he basically just leaves me alone because he knows like that's my time, that's what I focus on. So I would say like you have to have an outlet, whatever that is. Like he plays video games. I would rather die than play video games, to be brutally honest with you. Like I could care less. But like that's his thing. So when he's doing that, I practice, and it kind of works out, but sometimes it's never really a balance. I think, you know, for us, because we love our job so much, we work a lot, but we have a lot of really great friends. So like to talk about work, it doesn't really bother me because I can respond to Ben's text later and he doesn't care, or Adam or Courtney. You know, like you have these friendships that kind of help to keep you a little bit more aligned maybe. And maybe I just have an amazing husband. Don't tell him I said that.
So I love this question because work-life balance is very important in everyone's lives. I am a single mother of 2 daughters. I have a 5-year-old and a 2-year-old. So being able to work for a family business where they understand, you know, if you have a sick kid or a doctor's appointment or a sports event that you want to go to, it's really nice to be able to attend those things. And so yeah, if you have to pick them up from school and do the nighttime gig and work at night, that's kind of what happens most of the time. So yes, work-life balance is a good thing. I think we're out of cards.
Yep.
What advice would you give us as college?
I think really the biggest one is just when you're looking for jobs, making sure that it's a good fit for you. And you know, you're coming out of college and you want a job, so you want the first job that comes after you, but there's so many people retiring from the insurance industry, you can kind of be picky now. And you know, if you want to work for an agency, interview 5 different agencies. If you want to work for a company, go get an internship at a carrier and, you know, interview with several different companies. Don't just settle for the first thing that comes at you, because there's so many opportunities in this industry. You can really pick to work somewhere that really fits with your personal values.
If you are worried about earning potential after college, there are things that you can do in college, like apply for scholarships. Our organization has scholarships that you can apply for. I spent a lot of time while I went to school here applying for scholarships, and I went here for free because I got so many scholarships. So that, you know, it helped me. I had no weight on my head saying that I needed to pay off $100,000 in student loans. So I could go and take a little bit more of a risk and use my earning potential, and I wasn't worried about making bill payments.
Network. I think that's one of the biggest things, and that has actually helped me grow my agency. Our agency was very stagnant for quite a few years. Me networking, meeting new people, events like this. I mean, there are insurance events all the time. The companies have them. You've got these great organizations that do it. But I think networking is huge because that's how you're gonna find which one works for you and which one doesn't. You're gonna talk to these people within these companies and get some more ideas. You know, we can all sit here and tell you what our situation is, but there are so many situations out there. So I think the biggest thing is find these events, go to them, and just network with as many people as you can.
I would say if something isn't a good fit, don't burn the bridge, because you never know when that bridge, you might need to cross it again at some point in your career. It may not be now and it may not be later. Even though Auto Owners wasn't a good fit for me, I still maintained a lot of relationships from there. So when I do need something, maybe a little bit outside the box, I have people that I used to work with that I can call and ask for a favor or a special accommodation. So just know that it is really small. So it's really important that even if it isn't a good fit, that you just, you know, suck it up, because it's going to make you a better person in the long run, and just, you know, tough it out, because it could circle back around. And maybe you don't work with them at Auto Owners, but maybe you work with them, they go to a different company and you work with that company. So
Ben stole mine. So I'm gonna say, once you find a position and find something that is a good fit, my advice to you is always ask for the referral. It's a very difficult thing to ask for, but if you get good at it now, a warm lead is better than a cold one.
How much time do we have?
2 more questions, perhaps.
2 more questions.
Okay, maybe that's it.
You're done.
So a big part of the Michigan Young Agents is we pick a charity every year that's close to the chair's heart, which would be me this year. My grandfather was a World War II vet. He donated a lot of money to, a lot of money for him to the World War II vet memorial in DC. Unfortunately, my grandfather passed away before he was able to see it built. Sorry. But what happens is I got in contact with an organization called Talents Out, and that is the charity that we're going to support this year as a community. And we're reaching out to a lot of our company partners, to you guys, other students that we talk to, other agencies, to write a thank you note for a veteran. So we've brought thank you notes, and if you guys could just write a thank you note to a veteran that's going on an honor flight, which basically means it's an all-expense-paid trip on a Saturday. They fly out of Kalamazoo, they fly into Washington, D.C., their meals are all paid for. They have the National Guard that follows their bus so that they can get to every single monument in DC in one day, and then they fly them home that night, and they receive a hero's welcome when they get home back at Kalamazoo Stadium. So we would love for you guys to help participate and make a difference in a Vietnam, Korean, and World War II vet's life. So if you guys could do that for us. And one more thing, I know you're not supposed to have your phones out, but if you could take them out super quick and like and follow the Michigan Young Agents, there's a lot of different opportunities for you that are available, so just follow us. If you guys would like to, in April we're going to be going to Kalamazoo Stadium to welcome back some of these guys on an honor flight. We would love to have you participate with us as well, so you'll see a lot of information on that. But our conference is coming up, and it's just a great way to stay in touch with us. So I hope I didn't get anybody into trouble, but put your phones away after that.
You guys want to pass the cards out?
Yeah, you want to pass the cards
No.
out?
No, I will do that.
Okay.
Because we
Okay.
have some that they've already done last semester that
Oh,
I have for you
awesome.
upstairs.
Thank you.
Oh,
And we're
great.
using this for some community service points for them. So
Awesome.
I will distribute those and we'll get them back to you when I have some upstairs that are already done.
Awesome. Thank you
Great.
guys so much in advance.
College and Gamma Sigma and Insurance Seminar. We want to thank MAIA one more time for coming out and being so generous to share some of their experience with us.